create a small program to see how the reuse ALV list display will work. So what I will do is, I'll create a small program. I'll create some parameters, MATNR, some material number, type, table of MARC. So I have declared start of selection, perform get data. I want to get data from database. I'll create a subroutine to get the data from the database. I'll write the logic here. Select all the fields from MARC table and put it into internal table whose name is itab, where MAR is given in parameter. So I got the data. Then in the end of selection is the event generally used to double click on this. Here, go to the pattern and give a message saying that error displaying output, type information message, and one more important point. See this internal table, how it is declared, with the help of which structure this internal table has declared. Go and see how it is declared. itab type table of MARC. So MARC structure is used to declare this internal table. Okay. So to the function module reuse ALV grid display, you also need to pass the structure name. So here in the exporting parameters, there is something called I_structure name. To this I_structure name, you should also pass MARC, which is nothing but the structure name used for declaration of your internal table. So your internal table itab is declared with the help of the MARC structure. So I am passing this MARC structure over here. Now save your program, check your program, activate, and execute. Now here I will give some material number and then execute. See, my output is coming, vertical lines also coming, horizontal lines also coming. Then you can also see a column headings coming. There are so many other options. The output is already generated, so it looks very simple. You have not done loop at itab and write work area content. All this stuff SAP has taken care. Correct? So in this way, what you can do is, you can take care of, that means this list display has more advantages. In this way I can tell that list display is easier to print the output, or this is a better way than your classical reporting. It has so many other options. Say for example, I want to make the sum of, for example, here there is something called minimum lot size is there. I want to make the sum of this. So select this particular column and click on this symbol sigma. So it is making the sum of this particular column. Similarly, you want to sort something, purchase group I want to sort. Select the particular column and click on the sort button. Sort ascending order, sort descending order. All these things are possible in your ALV, which are not possible in your classical reporting. So this is the main advantage why people are mostly using ALV reports when compared to your classical report. Similarly, you have so many other options. Say for example, you want to download this output into an Excel file. You can download this output into an Excel file or text file or into HTML format. Similarly, you can send this mail output as you can send the ALV output as a mail. So there is an option here to send this as a mail attachment. So many options are given in the ALV reporting. So that's why ALV reports are used nowadays when compared to classical reporting. So it's pretty simple. What we have done is we have written a select query. So after writing a select query, we have given internal table to our function module. Then the function module for the same function module we have seen what is the internal table, with which structure this internal table has been created. The internal table is created with the help of this particular structure. So you need to pass on the structure to the reuse ALV list display function module. Okay, so this is how we will make use of reuse ALV list display. Then the next one is reuse ALV grid display. So now we are going to see one more program in which we are making use of reuse ALV grid display. So I'll create another program by copying the same. I'm copying the same program and creating another program. See how it looks like. Okay, so I have executed this report by giving some input over here. Now I'm executing this. When I execute, you can see the output. So this is in the form of reuse ALV grid display. So what is the difference between a grid display and a list display? Let me open the previous program, that is reuse ALV list display. So now see how the list display is looking, how the grid display, this is a grid display, how the grid display is looking. Friends, that's okay, but so your grid is advanced, than list display, the columns, which is not available in reuse ALV list display. And one more point is, in the grid display, when you are using a grid display, there is a button here called print preview. That print preview button is not available in the list display. So, but list display doesn't have that option. So these are all the various things which you need to remember when you are using a reuse ALV features you have when compared to reuse ALV list display. Okay, so now I think you understand what is the difference. Whatever the programs we have created, 2 ALV programs we have created till now. In these programs, we have seen how to get the data, like how to get all. This is what we have seen. Here I have written select star. Star means all the fields from a single table, that is MARC. I put it into this internal table and I am displaying in the output. So this is what we have done. Now say for example, tomorrow you got some situation wherein you need to display the data of 2 different or 3 different tables. What you will do? How you will display data from 2-3 different tables in your ALV report? So we are in this next example. I'll create an executable program. So here I will declare a simple selection screen. Otherwise I will take the selection screen from our classical report. We have created already a classical report, right? In that we have some selection screen. So maybe I will take the same thing, because in the classical report we are joining 2 tables. I'll take the same scenario. So in the classical report, what we have done, we declared a structure, we declared an internal table, we declared a work area. So copy this stuff, put it in your ALV report. So I have declared a structure now, an internal table, a work area. Similarly, I want to and then start of selection. I'll say perform get data. I will write the inner join to join sales document header and item details. So this inner join we have already written in our previous report. So I will go to my previous report and take the inner join syntax from there. The same code here. So this is how we are getting the data from 2 different tables, right? So in this case we are getting the data from VBAK table and VBAP table. So now how to display this data in your ALV? Let us see. Of selection, I'll say perform display output. Double click on this, create a subroutine. In case of classical report, what you have done, if you remember, in the end of selection of the classical report, what you have done, you have looped it. So you loop this internal table into work area, then you have given a write statement with so many positions, some vertical lines and so on. But here in the ALV reporting, what you need to do is call the function module, reuse ALV grid display, go to the pattern, call the function module, reuse ALV grid display. Here you need to pass the internal table which you want to show in the output. What is the internal table which I want to show in the output? My internal table is this. So copy this internal table and pass it on to the function module t underscore out tab over here. Which structure this GT out is declared? With which structure it is declared? Let me double click on this and see with which structure it is declared. So this is declared with the structure ty out. What is this ty out? Ty out is a structure which we have declared in the program, right? So the structure name you should pass it on to I underscore structure, because my internal table is declared with the help of this structure. Okay, so but there is one small problem here. The problem is this reuse ALV grid display will not take the structures which you have declared in the program level. It will not take which you have declared in the program level. It will take the structures only which is available in the data dictionary level. That means in the SE11 if the structure is available. In our previous program we have given MARC. If you go to SE11 transaction, MARC is available. So that's why reuse ALV grid display is accepting that particular structure. But this TY out is a structure which is specific to this program globally in SE11. In the data dictionary level it is not there. This reuse ALV grid display function module will not accept this function module. Now if I save check activate, I'll get an error. So I'll give some input over here and execute. See, my program is getting terminated. Field, what is the field name, what is the field description, what is the length of the field, what is the data type, all these things together called as field catalog. So that information is missing. So in order to execute this report properly, you need to have this structure in SE11. So we'll go to SE11 and create a structure. To create a currency field, when you are creating a currency field in your table or structure, what you need to do is you need to give a reference over here. So if you go to this currency, which unit you are measuring this currency, if it is a currency in rupees or dollars or on what you are measuring this. Similarly, if it is a quantity, based on what you are measuring, again units will be there definitely, kgs or pieces or liters, which the quantity is getting measured. So here we are using the price field NETWR. You need to give the reference. So how you will give the reference, from which table you are getting this entry? From VBAP table I am getting this entry. So go to SE11 and open VBAP table. Now go to VBAP table. And in this VBAP table, we have a field called NETWR. So this NETWR, select this NETWR and go to this currency quantity fields. NETWR. If you have a look on this NETWR, SAP is taking the reference from the VBAP and the field is WAERK. So SAP has given this reference. See this WAERK. WAERK means SD document currency. So this is the unit currency key on which this currency is getting measured. I will provide the same thing in my structure. Okay, so in my structure I will go here. I will provide reference table is VBAP. Reference field is WAERK. And also try to put all your fields in the structure which you have in your program. So in our program earlier we were having a local WIBLAN, ERDAT, VBT, YP, POSNR, MATNR network. So use all these fields and create a structure in the data dictionary like this. Now save your structure in the data dictionary, check it and activate it. It may give up some warning saying enhancement category is missing and blah blah blah. So but if some warning messages are there, we can ignore it and we can activate this structure, and we can make use of this structure in our program. So let us activate this. Here, so you can see there are some warnings are there. So enhancement, regarding enhancement category, no problem. We will still activate the structure. Okay, so now my structure is activated. My structure name is z_naren_stru. So take this structure and go to your report. In the report, instead of giving this local structure name, give the structure now which you have created in SE11. Okay, now that is the only difference. Save, check, activate. Your program is ready. Now we will execute this. So now you are getting the output. So this is how you will get the output. So what we learned here, the second method is what we learned: get data from different tables and display in ALV. What is the major difference we saw here? Instead of declaring your internal table structure locally, you need to have the structure in SE11. So that is the major difference. Then now the next part in this program, what we are going to see is there any alternate way instead of declaring structure in SE11? Do we have any alternate way of doing this, displaying this? Yes, we have an alternate way, that is called manual field catalog. I'll copy the same report into some ALV4. In this ALV4, I don't want to use the structure which I have created in SE11. So here we are using the structure which we have created in SE11, right? So I don't want to use this. I'll comment this. Save, check, activate this program, and let us see what happening. When I execute this program, you are getting field catalog not found, right? So previously also, when you are giving column headings of the fields, maybe length or width of the fields, all these are properties of the fields. Okay, so those properties are missing now. If we can give our own properties, that means if we can create our own field catalog, we can come over this error. So how to do that? Let us see. Let me go back to the same program. Here I don't want to pass this I_structure name. So that is what my intention. So the other alternate way is, there is something called here IT field cat, if you see. So this IT field cat is nothing but a field catalog which will store the properties of your structure. For example, here I will give the A7. So based on this structure, this internal table will get the details, which field should be appearing first, which field should be appearing second, what is the description of each and every field, what is the length of each and every field. So like that, based on this structure, this internal table will get to know that logic is done internally in this function module. If you provide the structure name internally, this function module will fill this IT field catalog. But now we are not using this. So this structure should be available in S11. If you give your structure which is local to the program will not accept it and it will say field catalog not found. So now what we are trying to do in the next program is we are trying to create our own field catalog, that is called manual field catalog. And then so in here this is a program ALV4, wherein I don't want to use the structure which we have created. I have commented the structure. I don't want to use this. Instead of that, I want to create my own field catalog. Field catalog means the properties of the fields. So I want to give my own properties for each and every field of an internal table and pass it on to this function module. So if you want to pass some internal table which is like this, then you need to first know how that was declared. If you want to know how it is declared, what you have to do, double click on this reuse ALV grid display and see how SAP has declared it, because this function module already created by SAP. So SAP could have declared such kind of internal table inside this function module. So see, IT field catalog SAP has declared type /t field cat ALV. So this is a table type. So declare a similar kind of internal table in your program. So on the top I have declared GT field cat type /t field cat ALV, and I also want a work area because I want to put some data into this internal table. So whenever I want to provide some data into the internal table, the traditional way what we do, we will put the data into the work area first and we will append work area to the internal table. So for that purpose I need a work area. So I have declared a work area, but what should I give here? After type, what should I provide? Let us double click on and see how this table type is declared. So this table type is declared with the help of this structure. So copy the same structure, put it in your program. So now you are giving here the structure name. So this will become the work area. If you are providing here the table type, this will become an internal table. So we have one internal table, one work area for field catalog. Now what we need to do, we need to fill the properties of these fields, because our internal table, final internal table which we want to display in the output, has these fields. So now we will say whether VBELN should come on the first place or ERDAT should come on a second place. Otherwise we can also tell other properties like VBLN should have a output length of 20 characters, date should have output length of 10 characters. So regarding these fields, we are going to fill some properties. So we'll see what are the properties we are going to fill. So where to fill this? Just before your reuse ALV grid display, try to fill the properties of your fields. Here what I'll do is, I will say perform fill field catalog. Double click on this subroutine. So I am creating one more subroutine. In this subroutine I am trying to fill the field catalog. So my work area hyphen call underscore pause. Call underscore pause indicates column position. Column position is 1. I am providing column position is 1. Work area hyphen field name, field name. My first field in the column position should be VBELN, and work area hyphen output length, maybe some 10 to 15 15 characters. Work area hyphen cell text underscore m equal to Viblen means sales document. So for that column I want this heading sales document. So like this I will fill the properties of Viblen. So Viblen VBELN properties I have filled. After filling this I will say append this work area to internal table GT field cat and clear your work area, so that for next field related record you will fill. So how do I come to know that this work area has call pause as a field and field name, output length, cell text underscore m, all these are fields which are available in this work area. That's what I'm saying, right? How do I know? Double click on this work area. So there is a structure here, double click on the structure. If you see, the structure is had a syntax types begin of, types end of syntax, which has a 2 includes inside this. We will take the first include, double click on this include, let us see what is that. Again when I double click on that include, again it has types begin of, end of syntax. It has another 2 includes. Again double click on this main 0 include. See here, you can see there are various fields are there, something like a call pause which I am using in my program, something like a field name. Okay, similarly somewhere I can show you this one, cell text underscore m, which I am using. What is this cell text underscore m stands for? This is the description which you will provide for the column. There are 3 types of description. While filling the field label inside the data element also, you are providing the 3 different field labels. Why you are providing 3 different field labels? Because in the runtime SAP will decide which field label should be displayed. If the column width is small, then this short heading will be displayed. If your column width is a medium range, then medium heading. If your column width is a large one, long one, then this heading will be displayed. Like that, there are 3 things. So I am using these properties in my program. So I have given this, then I will save it. Then when I check, it's syntactically correct, everything goes fine. The first field properties are filled. How many fields are there in my internal table which I want to display? I want to display this GT out, right? So in this internal table, how many fields are there? You can see there are some 6 fields. Out of 6 fields, for one field we have filled the properties now. So for one field we have filled. Now we have to repeat the same thing for all the 6 fields. So now I want to display the second field. Column position should be 2, and then what is the second field? ERDAT. I want the output length to be same. A heading, I will say document date. So my second field related properties are over. Then third field, what is the third field? It is VBTYP. VBTYP stands for sales document category. So small length is enough. So I'll say sales category. Now fourth, POESNR. Remember, whenever you are giving field name, it should be in capital letters. POSNR, I should not supposed to give in a small letters. If I given a small letters, it will not work. So here sales document item, or I will say sales item. After POSNR, we have some other field in the same internal table called MATNR, material number. Column position should be 5. Output length, we'll make it 20. Material number. And finally, in the last column, NETWR, that is a net price. I think, okay, the net price also will put length of 20. I'll say here net price. So like this, you have to fill the properties of each and every field. After filling this internal table, so you have some entries in this field catalog internal table, right? So after filling this internal table, what you have to do is, in your reuse ALV grid display function module, you have this IT field cat. To this IT field cat, pass your internal table which you have filled in just now. So give this GT field cat to IT field cat of reuse ALV grid display. Okay, so now save check activate your program. Try to execute this. You will get the proper output. You have to get it. Let us see whether it is coming or not. So you are getting it. So this is what called creation of manual field catalog. So every field we are trying to fill in the properties, and then those field catalog we are using. But you may come up with questions tomorrow. There may be 100 fields in my internal table. There may be 200 fields in my internal table. So in that case, do I need to create field catalog for all the 200 fields? Maybe in our next program I will come up with the answer for that. But except that, any other questions you have in the field catalog? So now what we have seen is we are filling the properties manually for each and every field. So now what if there are some 100 fields in my internal table. So actually how many fields are there in my internal table which I want to display in the output? So this is the internal table which I want to display in the output. How many fields are there in this internal table? There are 6 fields. Assume tomorrow you are getting a case where your internal table has 200 fields. For all the 200 fields, will you be keep on filling like this for all the 200 fields? No, right? So we should not be able to do like that for all the fields. So there is some other way to do it, but that is a little old technique. But anyway, let us go and learn the other way. Let me create another program by copying this program. So I am creating one more program now. In this program, I will show you how to create automatic field catalog. The previous program is creating manual field catalog. So now this program we are going to learn creating automatic field catalog. So if you want to create an automatic field catalog, so I don't want to make use of this. So I'm commenting this. This will not work further. Otherwise, I will comment this, and then I'll go to the pattern. There is a function module which will create field catalog automatically. The function module name is reuse ALV field catalog merge. So maybe you note down the function module name and the purpose of the function module, so that later it will be easy for you to refer which function module why we are using. So this reuse ALV field catalog merge, what it is doing, it will create field catalog. So the manual activity what we have done in the last program, it will do it automatically if you provide some details to this function module. So I'll call this function module. So it will create a field catalog and it will provide us the field catalog. Previously we filled it manually. So now no need to fill. After calling this function module, finally what will happen? This function module will give me the field catalog into this internal table. So inside this function module, SAP will fill the properties of the fields, and the final result I will get it in this GT field cat. So what are all the details I should give it to this reuse ALV field catalog merge? I should provide my program name. My program name is CPROG, current program. My internal table name, which I want to display in the output finally. So what is the internal table name which I want to display in the output? This is the GT out. So provide this internal table name. Okay. Then there is something called include name. Assume in a very big programs, if you are doing some very big program in your real time, all the data declarations will be declared on a separate include. For example, here you are using some GT out, where this GT out is declared in the same program. On the top we have declared, but there may be some scenario. Sometimes what will happen, this internal table could have declared in a different include. So you have to give that include name. Otherwise, in our case, because we declared the internal table also in the same include, I will say here cprog. That means my internal table is also declared in the same program. So if you provide these details, so in this function module, SAP will try to look into this internal table fields. If some 6 fields are there in this internal table, All the 6 field related properties it will fill, and those properties we will get in this GT field catalog internal table. So no need to fill manually like this. So this is not required now, right? So I will remove this. So even 100 fields are there. For all the 100 fields, SAP will create a field catalog and provide us. But there is one small restriction here. The restriction is, when you are declaring this internal table, how you have declared? You have declared something like this: ty out, gt out, type table of ty out, and ty out has taken the reference of type keywords. But when you are using reuse ALV field catalog merge function module, remember you should use a like reference. So that means instead of type, you should use a like keyword. Like keyword directly points to the memory, and hence from that memory it will try to get the field catalog. That means which should be the position, which should be the output length, what is the data type, all these things it will get from the like. And one more point is, don't give the data element here, give table hyphen field name. So that means I will say give here VBAK hyphen Viblen. So it will go to VBAK table and it will check the properties of the Viblen and it will get the data from there. Similarly VBAK hyphen ERDAT, VBAK hyphen VBTYP, VBAP hyphen POSNR. So it will go to VBAP table, get the details of POSNR from there. VBAP hyphen MATNR, VBAP hyphen net price NETWR. So instead of types begin of syntax, now I will say data begin of syntax. So here I will say GT out. So I have declared occurs GT out occurs 0. So now I have declared an internal table. If you see, I have declared an internal table. Here my GT out is the internal table. Occurs 0 is the initial memory allocated for the body, but later that memory will be extended when I write a select query. If you want to declare a work area for this, you can declare like this. So because GT out already declared on the top, no need to declare this again. I'll comment this declaration of GT out. Now if I want to declare a work area, I can say GS out, but no need to declare the work area also, because we have declared this as an internal table with header line. Occurs 0 whenever you have types begin of occurs 0, whenever you have this kind of syntax, this is a declaration of internal table with header line. So no need to declare header line also. Header line is also the same thing. That means your internal table name is also now GT out, work area name is also GT out. Okay, now let me save it, check it, activate. Why I have done all these changes? Because if you are reuse ALV field catalog merge function module has to work properly, these things are mandatory. What things? You have to use a like reference, and instead of data element you should use table hyphen field name. So these things are mandatory. So come back, let me put a breakpoint over here just to show you what happening. Otherwise I will put a breakpoint in the start of selection itself to show you what exactly happening. So now I will give some input in my program. Let me execute this. So here my control goes into perform get data. There is a select query here. So after this select query, I will get some data into this GT out internal table. So now you can see GT out is coming up with a cap, and it's also coming up with a body. That means it's internal table. It's a header line. So it's an internal table with header line. When I click F5, this internal table should get filled up. So let me click on this internal table body. So you can see there are some records already available here. Okay, so that records I want to display in the output. So I'll go to end of selection. So in the end of selection, what I'm doing, I'm coming into this reuse ALV field catalog merge function module. To this reuse ALV field catalog merge, I am providing the program name, that is Jednaren ALV5, and include name, and my internal table name is GT out. So if you provide these details and click on F6, because I don't want to go inside the function module, I want to execute this function module at one shot. So if you want to execute a piece of code at one shot, make use of this F6. Okay. So I have clicked on F6. So all the code which is available inside this function module got executed, and this GT field catalog should have filled with 6 entries. Why 6 entries? Because this GT out has 6 fields. So this internal table should have appended with the 6 entries inside this function module. So what are all the properties? We'll double click and see. Column position has filled up, field name is filled up, some other columns are also filling, SAP is filling some other properties also. Okay, then let me go and see more details. Here cell text L, M, S are all are filled. From where? From the data elements of the particular table hyphen field names. It has also taken the data types, length, everything SAP is filled. So SAP is filling all these details inside this function module, and finally we are getting that result in GT field catalog. So once you get the field catalog, you provide that GT field catalog to reuse ALV grid display. So once you give this to reuse ALV grid display, you will get the output. Okay, so this is how you are getting the output. So reuse ALV field catalog merge function module, what is the importance of that? It will create field catalog for you. So but there are some certain conditions which we have already discussed. You need to follow that, like you have to use the like reference, you have to provide the table hyphen field name, then it can create a field catalog for you. Even though your internal table has 6 fields or 600 fields, it will create field catalog for you, and later you can make use of that field catalog. And some other important points, there are some blue colors are see, sales document is coming in blue color, item is coming in blue color. Why these things are coming in a blue color? Can we also provide a blue color for a particular field, for example net value? Otherwise, in the previous program, we have created previous program. Here, there is no blue color is coming for any field. Why it is not coming? Can we also do like what SAP is doing? Say for example, in this case, manual field catalog we have created. This is our previous program. Can we provide a blue color for this? Generally, if you observe, if you open any table, standard SAP table or our G table, student table or employee table, whatever it may be, key fields are indicated with blue color. For example, I will open Jednaren student table. In this student ID is the key field. See, the student ID and MANDT, these two things are indicated with key fields. And green foreign keys are indicated with a green color, and so on. There are some different conventions. Okay. So now why the blue color is coming for the Veblen and POSNR? If I go to SE38, execute my automatic field catalog, that means the program with reuse ALV field catalog merge, then it is giving me blue color for, I will remove this breakpoints now. I'll say breakpoints, delete all breakpoints and save it. So now for the sales document and item, we are getting blue color. Why? Because sales document is a key field in VBAK table. Item is a key field in VBAP table. So SAP is taking the reference from VBAK table for this particular field, and for this field SAP is taking the reference from VBAP table. So that's why these two are in blue color. If you want to provide a blue color for some other fields over here in your manual field catalog, what you can do is go to your manual field catalog and say there for some field, see here for Veblen you want to provide a blue color, then you say here gs underscore field cat hyphen key equal to x. So now it will appear as in blue color. So now sales document is appearing in blue color. Whatever the field you want to do the same thing, you do it for any field, that particular field will appear in blue color if required. Then similarly you can say no underscore out equal to x. What is this no out equal to x? In the output, this particular column will not be shown. When I execute this, now sales document is not coming. Why? Because we have given no underscore out equal to x. Similarly, you can also do edit. For example, this item number I want to edit. So for item number POSNR, I will say gs field field cat hyphen edit equal to x. So here you can see this item number is in editable mode. Now I can provide some input into this. So this is in editable mode. So like this, what you can do is you can change the properties of a particular field. Then you can always go to this field catalog and you can provide the particular property. If you want to see more and more properties like edit, like no out, like whatever it may be, you want to see more and more properties, go to this GS field catalog, go to this list underscore field catalog ALV, go to this fields here and see what are all the properties. See here I have used a key. Similarly, you can make a particular field as icon. So you can make use of this icon field or symbol. Otherwise, you can make a particular column as a checkbox. You can make use of this property and so on. Okay. So whenever you are free, explore more into this and try to use more different properties. Like we are using already some no underscore out, edit equal to x. Like that you may tomorrow try checkbox equal to x. So then POSNR column should appear as a checkbox. Okay. So this is how you can change some properties of your field catalog. Now we will go back to the example where we have seen the automatic field catalog with the help of reuse, ALV field catalog, merge properties. For example, I want to remove the blue color which is coming by default to the POSNR field. What I will do is, I will read this internal table, read table GT field cat into work area field cat, work area means GS field cat, with key field name equal to POSNR. So whenever the field name is POSNR, that particular entry from the internal table will come and sit in this work area. After that, I will say clear my work area hyphen key, because key is X, that's why it is getting into blue color. So I don't want that blue color. I'm clearing that X. After clearing the X, what I should do? I should modify my internal table. So how to write the syntax for that? Modify my internal table from my work area index site tabix. Okay, after read syntax, it is always better to write a if size sub rc, because whether the particular record is there, then size sub rc will be 0. If the record is not existing, size sub rc will not be 0. So always it's a good habit. After any select statement or after any read syntax, write a size sub rc check. So now I'll save it, check it. Okay, modify internal table from work area, I should say GS field cat index site topics. So I'll put a breakpoint and show you what happening. So now I'll put a breakpoint over here, reuse ALV field catalog merge. So here we are giving certain inputs to this reuse ALV field catalog merge, certain exporting parameters we are passing. And after execution of this function module, SAP has given us an internal table. If you look at the POSNR field, POSNR, for this, we have key equal to X. SAP is automatically filling key equal to X. That's why it is coming in a blue color. So I don't want that X, I want to remove it. So what I have done, I am reading this internal table into work area where field name is POSNR. So observe this site abix, what happening after reading. See, in this internal table, my POSNR record is 4th record, right? So this is a 4th row. So now try to observe this site abix, what happening when I click on F5. My site abix become 4. That means it is indicating that the 4th record has came into the work area, because the 4th record satisfies this condition, field name equal to POSNR. So what is the fourth record? Fourth record is this, where field name equal to POSNR. So now this record should be available in your work area. So let us go and see in work area whether this record is available. It's available, but key equal to X. Now what I am doing, in the work area key is X, but I am clearing that key. So now I am modifying my internal table from the work area into the fourth row. Index site AVIX means which row I should modify? I should modify fourth row. It is saying I should modify fourth row based on this work area. So after this syntax, my internal table key equal to X is there na, here fourth row, that should be removed. So here when I click F5, you can observe here X has gone up. So now when I execute, blue color has removed. So like this, you can change the properties of a particular column. But this is something some roundabout way. So I prefer creating a manual field catalog if possible. And in case manual field catalog is very much tedious, then go for reuse ALV field catalog merge. So do you got what we have done here? So we have provided some inputs to reuse ALV field catalog merge. It has given some output. This output we should provide to reuse ALV grid display. But before providing that, we are trying to modify some properties over here, and after that modification we are providing to reuse ALV grid display. Any questions, or shall we go to next program?
No.
Okay. So in the next program, I am going to tell you how to create an interactive report in ALV. Interactive report means when I double click on basic list and another report should appear. So that is what interactive report. So the same thing we will take whenever I double click on a material in my basic list. I want to see this material is available in which plants. For example, now when I execute this particular report, so now if I double click on this particular row, now I want to get one more ALV wherein I can see in which plants this particular material number is available. What I will do is, I will show you one more property here. Instead of giving edit equal to X, I will say hotspot equal to X. What is this hotspot? Let us see. It is simply another property. Without giving this hotspot also you can do interactive report, but I just want to show what is this hotspot. So this hotspot we have given for material number, right? So now see, material number will appear as a link, and you can see the hand symbol in the material number column. When I go to net price or any other column, arrow mark is coming, but when I put my cursor on material number, hand symbol is coming, and when I click, only one click is enough. No need to double click. So when you have a hotspot, if you click a single time, that is enough. But when you don't have a hotspot, for example, if you want to click on this field, you need to double click to generate interactive report. But when you have a hotspot, only single click is enough. Okay, fine. So now I want to create an interactive report. Then what I should do is go to your reuse ALV grid display function module. Here there is something called I_callback program. So here give the program name where you will write code for your interactive report. Do you want to write the code for interactive report in the same program? If yes, give here sci_prog. So you are saying that for interactive report I will write code in this program. In this program, where you will write? In this program I will create a subroutine whose name is znaren_int. So I will create a subroutine with name znaren_int. So in this program, in this subroutine, I will write code for interactive report. That's what the understanding. Okay. So now what we need to do, we need to create a subroutine with the same name which you have provided over here. I'll go to the bottom. Here I will say form, whatever the name you have given over there. Form always should have end form. No need to provide a perform statement. The perform statement is already available inside the function module. So the perform, whatever the name you have given, that name. There are some two using parameters over here, using some ABC or XYZ, any name. So that I will say r_ucom type sci_ucom. Similarly, there is one more field called r_cell field type /cell field. So you need to remember there are two parameters, using parameters, which standard SAP is using inside reuse ALV grid display. So for your subroutine, you have to make use of these two parameters, using parameters. So we will put a breakpoint over here. Yeah, there is some question, then you can tell me.
Yeah, Ram, what is the purpose of these fields?
What is the purpose of these fields? I will come. I'll come to that. That's why I'm giving a breakpoint over here to show you what exactly, how exactly we can use this. So I put a breakpoint over here. Now when I execute this, when I click on some material number over here, for example M20, I click. When I click on this, see what happening. I am inside this subroutine, right? But inside the subroutine, how can I come to know which field I have clicked in and what is the value inside that? There are several materials in your output. On which material or on which field you have clicked in, whether you have clicked in on material or some other field. If you clicked on a material, then what is the value? How can I come to know? So that is where you will use this parameters. So double click on this parameter. This is a r_cell field is a work area. In this work area, you will have the field name. That means it is indicating you have clicked on this material MATNR field, and in that particular field you have a value M-20. This is a use. Similarly, there is one more thing called r_ucom, right? So this r_ucom indicates that this ampersand IC1, this is a unique 4-digit code for double clicking on a particular row. Who knows, you could have clicked on a button also. In your output, there are some buttons. You may be clicking on any one of the button, or you may be clicking on a row. How can I uniquely identify whether you are clicking on a button or you are clicking on particular row based on that r_ucom? So there are two parameters SAP has given to you to distinguish whether you are clicking on a button or a particular row, or if you are clicking on a row, on what field you are clicking, what is the value inside that you can come to know based on this r_ucom, r_cell field. So now the remaining coding is same. So I will declare an internal table here, data, itab type table of marc. I'll write a select statement, select all the fields from marc table and put it into my table itab where matnr equal to, in this work area, whatever is the value, hyphen value. Before going to the select query, just check whether the user is clicking on matnr or not. If user is clicking on some other field, then you say, if user is clicking on some other field, give a message to him, please click on material or something. So now you got some values into this internal table itab. You have to display this internal table. Go to the pattern, call once again reuse ALV grid display function module. So which internal table you want to show now? I want to show this itab. So provide this itab to t_out tab. This itab has, what is the structure of this itab? How the itab is declared? You can see itab is declared with the help of marc structure. This is available in AC11. So I will directly provide here i_structure name equal to marc. Now save, check, activate. And execute. So now when I double click on this sales category or something, it is saying please click on material. When I click on okay, because after that also we are calling the reuse ALV grid display. What I have done is, what is the problem here is, after displaying this message, and if I am putting over here, I should not put over here. See this condition, this else and displaying message part, I should do at the bottom. So what my intention is, if somebody clicks on material number, get the data from the table and display it using reuse ALV grid display. Else, don't display anything, just give a message, please click on material. So now this is a proper code. So let me save, check, activate, execute. and double click on sales item. Please click on material. Okay, I'll click on some material M-07. Then it is displaying the second output. So second output means it's nothing but your first interactive report. So when you double click on this, tomorrow you can also generate another interactive report. Like that you can generate n number of interactive reports. So in your ALV, this is the way to create an interactive report.
Ram,
Yeah.
here we want to use the GT field catalog, right? Right, because we are using structure. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the interactive report, I don't want to create again, but if you want, you can create it. But I'm using the structure directly. MARC structure. Because in MARC table, how many fields are there? See, so many. So I cannot manually give the field name, length, heading, everything I cannot provide manually. You see how many fields are there? There are 237 fields are there. For each field I cannot provide manually, but I can do it. Like it will take more time. Instead of doing that, I can do in this way. If this structure is available in S11.
Okay. If suppose if you create our own structure, it won't be possible, right? We
No,
should
it's possible. It's possible. It's possible. You create another structure. That's what I have shown you. ZNAR_STRU we have created. We have used it also.
No. Within the program, we can create a structure, right?
Within a program, if you create, it's not possible. Types begin of syntax if you are using, then you cannot use that structure. If the structure is available in S11, yes, you can use that.
Okay.
Shall we go to the next program? We are going to learn events, how to handle events. Which we will generally use in our reporting. You know, initialization, add selection screen, start of selection, end of selection, all these are events in your general reporting, but ALV has some specific events. What are those specific events? If you want to know what are the events, then what you need to do is, before filling the field catalog or before calling this reuse ALV grid display, you have to call one more function module. That function module will give you the events available in the ALV. So I am creating one subroutine, perform get events. The purpose of this perform get events is to get to know how many events are available in the ALV. There is a function module. The function module name is reuse ALV events get. So this is the function module. This function module, what it will do is, what are all the events available in ALV, it will provide us. Let me press enter over here. No need to give any input to this function module, but you will get an output with something called ET events. So now we will see how SAP has declared this ET event so that we can provide a similar kind of internal table over here. Double click on this reuse ALV events get function module and see how ET events is declared. I'll go inside. So how it is declared, ET events type sys_t_event. So Copy this, come back to your program, declare a similar internal table in your program. So go to the top of your program, declare a similar internal table. I'll say data, GT events, type slice_t_events. Similarly, I want to create a work area. Work area may be gs_events, type. What should I provide here? So if you want to provide some work area, if you don't know, double click on the table type and see how the table type is created. See, this is the table type which is declared with the help of this structure. So copy this structure, come back and give it as a reference to your work area. So now I have declared an internal table, GT events, one work area, GS events. Now let us go back to our function module. This function module gives us an output or gives us an importing parameter, which is nothing but GT events. So once this function module executes, we can see what are all the events available in the ALV. So I will activate this program, put a breakpoint here and execute to show you what are all the events available in the ALV. Now this function module came. So as of now you can see there are 0 entries in this table. As of now the code inside the function module is not executed. But when you press F6, the code inside the function module got executed and this internal table is filled with 17 entries. So that means there are 17 events are there. Double click on this, you can see all the event names: caller exit, user command, top of page, top of cover page, and so on. Now what I want to do is, I want to make use of any one of the event. For example, I want to put a heading on the top of page. Top of page, you know, right? So to provide the heading. So I want to make use of this top of page and put a heading to my ALV report. How can I put it? See, here there is another column. The column name is form. So this internal table GT event has two fields. One is a name, another one is form. Form means a subroutine. So if you want to make use of this top of page, against to this top of page, here you put some subroutine name. Subroutine maybe some put heading or something. You fill some heading over here. With that name you have to create a subroutine and write the code inside the subroutine. For example, you want to make use of end of page, you have to provide a subroutine name over here and write code inside the particular subroutine. So now assume I want to write some code inside this event, top of page. So I have to make use of one subroutine name. How can I do? Remember, the field names are name and form. Just let us go back to our program. Our program is this. Here, after getting the data into GT events, what I will do? Read table GT events and put it into work area events with key name equal to, what is the first field? It's a name, right? So name equal to top of page. So whenever top of page is there, that particular record, put it into GS events. If psi sub r is equal to 0, provide a subroutine name, that means form equal to some name, put heading or something, give some name, then modify my internal table from work area index site apex, then I will say and if. So now this is the form name. Form means a subroutine name in which we will write code for top of page. GS events, I should say here work area hyphen field name, right? So I will save, check, and now what I'll do, I'll create a subroutine, put heading. So I will say form put heading and form. So in the put heading, so whatever you have given here with the same name, I am creating a subroutine. So this put heading, whatever the code you write, that is applicable for top of page. So I will take you once again into the debugging to show you how exactly it is. So now I will put a breakpoint here. Execute. So now I came here, I got the events. There are some 17 events in this internal table. It's okay. Now among those 17 events, I am reading an entry from this events where the name is top of page. Where the name is top of page. That means the third one. Third one now should come and sit in the work area. Okay, so when I click F5, the third entry came. So you can see the site apex is 3. That means the third entry came and sit in the work area. So my work area has two fields. One is the name, another one is form. Name is top of page already. In the form I am putting put heading. So now my work area, you have top of page and put heading. Now based on this work area, I am modifying my internal table. So when I click F5, my internal table, see against to this top of page, I am giving a subroutine whose name is put heading. So in this subroutine, whatever the code I write, that is always for this particular event top of page. So now what I will do, so what here we got the number of events, and here we have also concluded what is the subroutine name where you are putting the heading. And this particular modified internal table GT events, you should provide to reuse ALV grid display, because this is a function module which is finally displaying the output. So this function module should aware that you are writing a code in a particular event for particular subroutine. So here there is a table called IT events. So provide this GT events over here so that this function module can come to know in this GT events there are 17 events are there. In the 17 events you are using top of page. For the top of page event, the code is available in put heading subroutine. So provide this to reuse ALV grid display. Now write some code inside this put heading. If I say write some sales report, is it going to work? Because Right syntaxes we will never use in ALV report. Remember, when you want to do something in ALV report, don't use the right statement. For each and everything, there is a function module. Again, to put the heading also, there is a function module. The function module name is reuse ALV commentary write. Commentary write. So what it will do is, instead of putting a right syntax, I can make use of this reuse ALV commentary write. So in this reuse ALV commentary write, for this function module, we have to provide some input. The input internal table should be something like this: IT list commentary. Double click on this and see how SAP has declared this IT list commentary. SAP has declared IT list commentary something like this: IT list commentary type slice underscore t underscore list header. Copy this and declare in your program in the subroutine data GT list type slice underscore t underscore list header, and I want a work area also gs underscore list type. If you how to know this, double click on this table type. What happened? List underscore t underscore list header. I think I have not copied completely. Double click on this. So here you can see there is a structure with which this table type is declared. Copy this structure and provide as a reference to your work area. Now let us see what are all the fields available in this work area. That means this particular structure has a 3 fields. One is a type, key and info. So now we are going to fill these fields. So in my work area, that is, what is my work area name? gs-list type. I will fill, say, type equal to h. H stands for heading. What heading you want to put? In the info field, I will say sales report. Now append this work area to the internal table. Once you append, it's always better to clear the work area, but in this case, in this particular case, if you don't clear also, there is no impact. So now my internal table has an entry. GT out has not GT out, GT list, I should say, GT list. So my internal table GT list has an entry here. So this internal table, whatever you filled, provide it as an input to reuse ALV commentary write. Save, check, activate. And one more important point is we should also provide here these events, whatever the subroutines you are writing, all these events, you should also say in which program it is available. So you have written the code in which program. So I underscore callback program, that is size eprog. That means the code which is belonging to this top of page you have written in current program. So now activate your program, execute. You should get the top of page in your ALV report. So here you got a heading on the top, sales report, and then you are getting your output. So shall we see the flow once again, how this flow, what we have done. First step is call reuse ALV events get function module. So why we are calling this function module? To get all events in ALV. Second step is fill the form name or fill the subroutine name in the events internal table. What is the subroutine name in our case? So here events get internal table, we got the GT events, and after that what we have done, we want to make use of top of page event, so we have read it, and against to top of page we have given some form name, put heading, and we try to modify the internal table. So that's what, fill the subroutine name in the events internal table. So that's what the next step you have to do. Then in the third step, provide callback program and modified events internal table to reuse ALV grid display. So you have to link reuse ALV grid display should aware of you have modified this events internal table. So provide this modified internal table to reuse ALV grid display function module. So you are passing here GT events. Similarly, you are also saying I underscore callback program. That means this in this side program, that means in the current program only I am writing the code for top of page event. Okay, so this is the third step. And in the fourth step, what you are doing, create a subroutine with the same name what you have provided in the events internal table. So with the same name, right? So there we have given put heading, then in the bottom also I have created a subroutine with put heading. In this put heading subroutine, you have to write a code to display sales report kind of heading. So to display this kind of heading, what function module you need to call? Create a subroutine and call reuse ALV commentary write function module. So this reuse ALV commentary write function module, if you want to use, you should provide some input to this. What is the input? Input is nothing but an internal table. So fill the heading, what you want to put, type is H, whatever, sales report, instead of sales report you can display ABC XYZ. Whatever you provide as info, that will appear as a heading in the top of page. Okay, so this is the sequence to use the events in your ALV report. So you have to always follow this sequence to use the event in ALV. It may be looking tedious, but when you practice and follow this sequence, it will be easy only. It's not very difficult. Just try to practice, and after practicing you will get a lot of questions and come back. Fine, so with this we'll conclude ALV. There are some other kind of stuff like how to make the totals in ALV or how to put colors in ALV, that reports I will send you, because once you are able to understand these events, understanding that will not be much difficult. Send you, and then later on Monday we will start with module pool programming.